Alright guys, welcome back to another video. It's your man Jay. So today it's time to take a look at the S22 Ultra after a little over 4 months. Now I recently put out a video probably about a month ago talking about how I like the iPhone 13 Pro Max as a more complete device halfway through the year. Some of you guys really took that and ran with it and said, okay, you know, blah, 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 whatever. I've had this device for half the time as the iPhone 13 Pro Max, and before I get into the S22 Ultra and why I feel the way I feel about it after this time, the iPhone 13 Pro Max, I've had it for almost 9 months. And ultimately what you're looking at with the iPhone 13 Pro Max is Apple finally did something right to impress me, because see, if you know the history, I'm pro Android all the way, and I'm really a BlackBerry person, original BlackBerry person, not this Android stuff. But Apple finally did something good to make me really engage with their products. Over the years, I've been very critical of Apple products and just never really been an Apple person for their phones. Now, their other equipment, man, you would look through my house, you would see MacBooks and all kinds of stuff through the house. And you would say, wow, this guy's pro Apple. Not so much. The phone game for Apple has always been their weakest point to me. And finally, you know, they've done something right with the iPhone 13 Pro Max to keep me intrigued over this time. This is one of the longer times that I've used an iPhone 13 Pro Max. And so when it comes to a complete package, one would think I would say this, because I am an Android user now by default, since I can't use BlackBerry. I, in fact, can get a lot more done with my S22 Ultra. However, I think at this point, and it has the July security patch right now. We're in July, and you know, what did it fix? Well, honestly, it didn't fix anything because there was nothing broken. When it comes to reviewing a device, that's an extended period that you'll need to take. But when it comes to personal use, like, okay, so I'm reviewing these devices, but I'm actually personally using them as my daily devices. And so the S22 Ultra, to me, it's probably just physical. I don't like the physical design of this device in comparison to other devices. This is a phenomenal piece of hardware, but even me, with the hands I have, it still feels too big sometimes. And the difference with the iPhone 13 Pro Max, obviously, are the rounded corners. So you say to yourself, you know, Jay, hey, what about the S21 Ultra? Well, you're right. The S21 Ultra is a phenomenal piece of hardware. But this is the better equipment in my daily use than the S21 Ultra. This right here has the S Pen, and I think that's one of the key features. I would hope that is why a person is buying this device, this being one of your favorite features of the device, and not just buying it for a large canvas. I have spoken of this a million times. You don't need to spend this kind of money just to get a big screen for media consumption. So the July security patch, as I stated before, it didn't fix anything because I didn't have anything broken on this device. It's been flowing along, and Samsung has been doing great with doing monthly updates. But I have a point I want to make about security patches. Now, if you know me over the years and the history of me dealing with Android, I don't have to have a security patch every month. I don't believe that it's necessary. I don't think that if a device isn't supported with monthly security patches, it doesn't mean it's a fail. Now, what would make it a fail is if it wasn't fixed with a security patch, if something goes wrong. So Apple doesn't do monthly security patches. They don't do monthly updates. They fix things when they break. If they get enough of something coming in, oh, we need to send a patch out, and they do it fast. Unlike Android, it can't happen that way because Android's open source. And so, meaning, for those that don't know, it means that anybody can put Android on anything for free, and you don't have to license it. You can make your own Android device if you have the SDKs and you have the platform that you need to make your device. And you can build your own software around Android. And so that's where you see phones like this with these skins or overlays, but underneath it's just Android. And that's the issue I have with Android at this point. I'm becoming a little bit more aware of things. It appears after all these years of using Android, security patches to me just aren't warranted or needed every month unless it's fixing something. So I think Android users have got it in their mind that they have to get a security patch every month to make the device relevant, when you really don't. you need to be pushing for, Android users should be pushing for device support. I would rather have my device get the support it needs for the 5 years. I don't have to have this way of thinking that I have to have a security patch in order for it to be a device that's relevant or something that's going to hold value, if you will. When people talk about Android devices, they tend to talk about how it loses value fast, but we are the ones who are putting that value on something. So the S22 Ultra for me wasn't broken with all the other security patches I've gotten a security patch every month. And I think I've even gotten a couple of extra ones in there. I don't know what they were, but this is the unlocked blue version of this device. I bought this as soon as it was available to order. I ordered it, and it took them approximately 2 months or so to get it to me, I think. And, honestly, when I made that video about the iPhone saying, it's been a more complete device over the last 6 months or halfway through my year with it, obviously I've had the iPhone longer. So people really ran with that one. But I am, in fact, an Android user. And I definitely think that in the end, the faults that I may find in this device, you might not see them as faults. Again, my thing now is just with this device, it's just the hardware. Like this hardware, I'm not a fan of the hardware. I've said that a bunch of times. I like how thin it is. I don't like how wide it is. And I don't like how boxy it is. I've been saying that probably since I got this device. And I don't think that's going to change. I know that probably won't change. So to offset that, I put a case on it. It makes it feel, now you might say, well, Jay, that's making it a little bit more bulky. No, but I'm getting some grip now. I'm getting some grip, which is, I use this case on right now. Currently, this is my favorite case to use on things. And so it gives me the grip I need to, and it also softens up the blow on the corners. And I think when I do a follow-up video on something, I don't really have much to say these days about Android devices or just devices, period, because I don't think devices have plateaued per se. I don't think this device has hit its peak. I think that the changes that we won't see them anytime soon because OEMs are not willing to give them. They're willing to drag their feet along for years so they can continue to make money off of us. But this device right here is phenomenal. Could it be the device of the year for me? I don't know. One thing I wanted to point out when it comes to speaking about device of the year, that's something that I straight away, I don't think I did that last year. I don't remember if I did, but a device of the year, what you'll run into is that some devices come out later in the year and some devices come out, they've been going for a while. So if a device for me can make device of the year, I need to have it for at least 3 months for it to prove itself, minimum, that it can really do all that I need to do, and I'm totally happy with it. And yes, I could use it for 4 years. For me, a device of the year is something that I know that I could keep for a very long time. And even if something comes out, like I'm talking from a non-technology enthusiast, non-techie, just a regular person, I may see these things come out, but I don't have the impulse to buy them because my current device actually does everything I want it to do. And those are device of the year thoughts for me when I name a device of the year. Now I may get rid of these devices, but that doesn't mean that's just me clearing the inventory because I don't really need them anymore, and I probably will circle back around to them a few times a year, or I just won't use it as much. So when you think of the S22 Ultra, you should be thinking that, man, they have hit it out of the park with this. What can they improve on? I don't think we should ever settle for what's being shown to us because they definitely can do more. Don't you know that the S25 is already in talks or whatever the next 3 years ahead? The hardware designs, the conversations have been in place for a while. So there's, to me, not much really to say about this device unless something breaks. Because again, my gripes about this device are pretty much all physical at this point, and you could disagree with those. So Samsung has gotten it right. Could this be considered a device of the year for me later on down the line after I've had it for another few months? Of course. Will the device that I named 6 months in be the device that I consider the best option for 2022, or just a device that you can keep for a long time? Let me go on record and say this, though. I will say this. Both of these devices, you could definitely keep both of these for 3 to 4 years if you wanted to, or longer. They have proven that point to me, that they both can be used for that length of time. My only concern is that somebody asked me what my battery life was on my iPhone, and it's at 99%. 9 months in, it's at 99% health, I believe it is. And you know, I like that you guys ask questions like this. Yeah, so let's check that out. See if we can get it focused. There you go. It's at 99% health after about 9 months or so. So that's pretty good. Which means I could keep that device for a long time to come, as long as I don't have any physical damage to it, and you know the software holds up, it'll be fine. So with this device right here, that's another concern that I possibly could have, is battery life. How will it hold up in comparison to the iPhone 13 Pro Max after 3 years? I would say that after 3 years, the iPhone 13 Pro Max, with the way I'm using these devices now, probably would be still in the 90 percentile. This device right here, I don't know, it's probably going to be in this 90 percentile as well. But battery life is, to me, one of the most important things about all these devices, because they need to work and they need to stay powered on so we can actually use them. It does no good for me to have this very powerful device and have to keep it on the charge in order to get the use out of it. Just doesn't make any sense. So I wanted to bring you guys an update on the S22 Ultra and kind of a follow-up and reiteration on my thoughts on the iPhone 13 Pro Max being 6-month device of the year for me, or whatever, if you want to call it that. But I think Samsung, it's you know, we talk about Apple needing to do things with their products. Samsung does as well. They need to change that hardware, and it's a shame that, you know, we end up getting programmed to believe that something is what it is. But there's a whole group out there that love a different style of device, or I should say are willing to be open to new designs. And I think the Fold 3 is probably Samsung's best offering when it comes to something I could use for 3 to 5 years. Like, this S22 Ultra could be used by anyone probably for a long time. But if I had to choose between the Z Fold 3 and the S22 Ultra, I would have not sold my Z Fold 3, because the Z Fold 3, it's not that it opens up into a tablet, it's more of the pocket. It's narrow enough to where I could fit it in a pocket. Now, it was heavy, yes, but it felt better in the hand when making phone calls. And I know people use Bluetooth, but I do use Bluetooth earbuds, but sometimes I want to hold the device. It's just, I could be in the kitchen or something, I don't have my Bluetooth near me, so I want to hold it. So, yeah, I do miss the Z Fold 3, and I really considered buying one when it dropped to $1,200 with a free Galaxy Classic LTE watch. Really considered that, but again, those are impulses, and I've already reviewed the Z Fold 3, and it just, I would have put down my S22 Ultra and went back to the Z Fold 3 for personal use. But the Z Fold 4, if I'm going to end this video with anything, it's going to be the Z Fold 4 has to be, now the leaks come that I've posted. I posted one leak that I got from somebody else. It's not really a leak at this point. Information that I've gotten is that it will be a little bit shorter. I mean, just a hair shorter and a little bit wider, and they will make this front screen a little bit bigger. I'm talking about millimeters, not inches. So this will be interesting to see, because I'm definitely going to get the Z Fold 4, and I'm curious how I'll feel about that one, because I think I named the Z Fold 3 the device that you should get for, I don't recall if I did, but I know that device is way at the top of my list for productivity, functionality. Battery life was pretty decent for me. I could go a day and a half minimum, I would say, probably, without heavy use. But I think that's why people gravitate towards, when you talk about big displays, the iPhone has a flat display and it has phenomenal battery, and the software is tried and true and proven that it's going to work for you. And so the S22 Ultra, it needs improvement in some areas like battery to me, but I think that's a losing battle for the S22 Ultra, because it's based on Android, and so Android is so fragmented. We don't have very many choices with that. There's no way to really get around that. So the battery will take a hit. Functionality still might take a hit, even with this powerful processor. But if they could just improve on the design, make it thinner or whatever, or give it a bigger battery, make it thinner if they can, which I know they can, and take away those boxy corners. I've said this pretty much in every iteration of me talking about the S22 Ultra. It's now that after I process it, it's just physical for me. I think it's a phenomenal device, and I can't wait to see how I feel about it at the end of the year. You know what I mean? Like, if it doesn't break, then, you know, technically it's rolling right along flawlessly. And give me your thoughts on security patches. Do we really need a monthly security patch? Why is it that Android users feel like that's something that they need to hold on to convince them to buy a device? Really, the security patches they can list all these different things that it fixed, but you don't really know if they're fixing anything. They're just putting another number in and putting the next date in the next month and calling it a security patch. Think outside the box. I haven't had any problems with my device, and it's not because of the security patches. Some might argue immediately, well, it's because you're getting the security patches and they're fixing things in the background. I don't believe that to be true. I think that's just another talking point for them to get you to buy the device or feel like you're going to get something that no one else is getting. So support for a device, though, is different. In the 4 or 5 years that you have the device, or however long you have the device, are they going to continue to support it? Are they going to continue to give me the major updates, like Apple supporting their iPhones for like 7, 8 years? There's old iPhones that we have here that have the latest information, the same OS as the current iPhone. So will it run exactly the same? Absolutely not, because of the processor inside, but it's still being supported. And that's something that Android users really should be pushing Google and other OEMs to start doing. It's not about the monthly security patches. It's about you continuously supporting this device and giving me the opportunity to experience the latest operating system that you offer for 5 to 7 years. That's the real competition right there that I think that people fail to look at when it comes to competing in operating systems, Android and Apple. It's your man Jay. I hope you guys enjoyed the discussion video today. I will see you in the next video. Take care.